This video is only for those that are still struggling with their trading. Learn the forgetting Alchemist Trading Strategy, Malaysian SnR and SMC. Pay attention. Now we are going to do a little bit of work here in this video. All I need is your attention. So these are the entries which I took last week, and we're going to go through all of these together. And by going through this, I'm going to show you exactly what to look for, how to go about it, and when not to trade. So let's go right in. So we're going to use the replay feature so that we'll get everything clean. So let's use a clean chart. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is we'll need to go to the higher time frame. So for each Monday, we'll need to go to the weekly time frame to see what price is doing. So on this chart, what can we see on the weekly time frame? Before we go there, let me share with you what you need to know about the Malaysian SnR. The first thing that we need to do or pay attention to is understand this. We have the A shape and we also have the V shape. Okay, so we have the A shape and we have the V shape. Of course, I'm going to give you a perfect example on the chart why I explain everything in details. So the next thing is going to be this. So let's say we have an A shape formation, an A shape that fails. So A shape that fails, this becomes automatically an area where we want to look for buys. The same thing with V shape. Let's say this is our V shape and our V shape fails, right? We want to look for sales. Okay, so we are going to see all of these examples on the chart. So I want you to come with me and understand exactly what I'm explaining to you. Please smash the like button and don't forget to leave or ask a question in the comment box below. So the first thing is the weekly. So what do we do? First, let's talk about the SnR. How do you identify them? The first thing to do is for you to understand the candlestick formations. Of course, we have a little bit of gap here. We're not talking about gaps in this video, but let's stick with the basics. So the first thing is you want to identify a bullish and a bearish candle together. So wherever you find a bullish and a bearish candle together, then we have either an A shape or a V-shape formation. Now, if the bullish candle comes first and the bearish candle comes second, that is an A-shape formation. So we have an A shape here, and all we need to do is we have to mark the closing price of the two candles. So we have the A shape and here we have the V shape. So where is the closing price? This is the closing price. All right, so let's see if this is accurate. So for us to see and identify this clearly, we might want to be using the line chart. As you can see, we can see that this is perfect. This is our V-shape formation. All right, sorry about that. That's our V-shape formation, and this is our A-shape formation. With this understanding, you've already known exactly how to mark the SnR. Okay, the next thing that we need to pay attention to is we need to have a storyline. Storyline is like you identifying your buyers, the buyers you want to trade. Okay, so we're not going to waste much time. Let's dive right in. So I'm going to show you exactly the things that I look for step by step. So this is a new week and we want to enter a new week. So what we do is we need to analyze the chart. How do we do that? Let's see what price did in the previous week. How do we do that? We need to identify that, okay, this is an A shape. That was the last point of reaction. However, after we find an A shape, the next thing we need to do is we need to confirm that with a time frame lower. In this case, that would be a daily time frame. So how do we do that? We need to check for a break of market structure. Was there a break of structure? Absolutely. There was a break of structure right there. Okay, so now that we know that we are bearish on the weekly, the next thing we need to identify is where are our key levels. Where's our key levels? Okay, saying that we are day traders, we also need to pay attention to lower time frame price action. Meanwhile, when I say lower time frame price action, I'm actually talking about 15 minutes and above. So we're not going below 15 minutes, and we are not analyzing in 15 minutes or in 1 hour. We're analyzing on the weekly, daily, and on the 4 hours minimum. So the next thing we want to do is we need to identify what price is doing. So how did I catch those trades? So I was able to catch about 1 to, not 1, so that's about 3 to 25 risk to reward ratio. And how did I do that? This is exactly how I did it. The first thing that I did is I came to the weekly time frame, which we've already checked. All right, we've checked the weekly time frame, and this is Monday open. Okay, so on Monday we need to wait for key levels. Where are our key levels? So I will draw our key levels. This is our key level, right? And we call this a daily key level. And of course, price this key level is very far from price because this is the daily time frame, so we're not interested in that yet. So the next thing is we need to check the key levels from the upside. So where is price reacting from? Now this is it. This is where we need to understand SMC as well. So for SMC traders, you agree with me that we had a break of structure here, right? That's on the daily time frame. Now we had a break of structure here. Of course, this is actually an inducement. We had an inducement here, and the inducement failed. It failed. It actually failed here. Okay, now why did we mark this? If we go to the line chart, you see that's actually a V shape. You understand that? Okay, so the next thing we want to do, now that we know we are bearish, okay, at least we are bearish until price comes and hits this key level, because as you can see, we are overall bullish. Okay, we are overall bullish, right? But seeing that we are day traders, we have to flow alongside with price. So the next thing that we need to do is we also need to check what are the most recent price action. This and price had already reacted from that zone, and also this also is a daily key level. This is a daily key level. Why? That's a V shape right there. You can see it. That's a V shape right there. I hope you are enjoying this video already. Now on the higher time frame, we have mapped out our key levels, so we need reactions from any of these key levels. Of course, we can see and refine these things on the lower time frame. So we know that we are bearish until price comes to these zones at least. Okay, so this is Monday, and on Monday we'll check the 4 hours. On the 4 hours, what can we see? On the 4 hours, let's play price and see. I think okay, I think that was on Tuesday. So probably we need to mark Monday, Tuesday, so that we understand them as we move on. So this is Tuesday. This is, of course, this is the Tuesday price action. This is Wednesday, right? Can we see that? Okay, we have that. So the reason why we are doing this is so that it will be easier for us when we are on the lower time frame. Okay, and of course we can actually use the day separators, but I don't want the charts to be too rough, but let's leave this like this. So as you can see, where is our key zones? Where are our key levels? Our key levels are here. These are key level. This is our key level. This is our key levels. So as you can see, price have not reached any of our key level. Even if we check the 4 hours, where is our key levels on the 4 hour? Okay, on the 4 hour, I can see this as my key level right there. So of course I might want to take this out as well, but let's leave that because that's daily. We might see a reaction. So what did I do? I waited patiently for price to create Asian session. So for Monday and Tuesday, I didn't look for a setup on Euro USD, but I did on gold. As you can see, this was my gold entries. I did on gold, and I did on USD JPY, but I wouldn't want to go there right now. So let's see exactly what we have here. So we have this as the Asian session. All right, these two 4-hour candles are actually Asian sessions. And what are we looking out for? We are waiting for price to take out our Asian session, because you see, time and price is always also important when it comes to trading. Okay, so what else can we find on the 4 hours? On the 4-hour time frame, we can see that we have a bearish trend already. Okay, we have a bearish trend already. Bearish, break of structure. All right, and of course we have our key levels here. So at this point, we might want to see reactions from where? From these zones. At least this was my expectation, reaction from these zones, and I will take my shots. So the next thing we want to do is we can decide to go to the lower time frame. So on the lower time frame, 1 hour time frame, now 1 hour time frame, or even the 15-minute time frame, let's play price and see exactly what price is doing. Okay, so this is very important, because if you don't have this understanding, it will be difficult for you to to get the right setup. So what we need to do is we are actually waiting for our confirmations. So let's play price. So all this while I'm patiently waiting, I'm patiently looking for where price will react from. So as you can see, price broke through our daily zone, reacting from our 4-hour refined level. So at this point, we can start looking for sell setups. Okay, so one of the things that I did was to go to the 15-minute time frame, and on the 15-minute time frame, we want to see a break of structure, right? So for SMC traders, you agree with me that we have, of course, this was a consolidation, right? We have liquidities here. If you look at this, we have probably a bunch of liquidity right there, and we also have price creating sweeping liquidity here, and at the same time filling this gap. Okay, but all of those things are just confluences. Those are not the most important thing. The most important thing is what I'm sharing with you right now. So I want price to take out this low before we can take our short. So wait for our confirmation. All right, so at this point, I was actually waiting for price to retrace, and because we already have a break of structure right there, and I was actually willing to enter from this level. All right, I was willing to enter from here, and my stop loss should be a bit just here like that. That's my expectation. And also I was expecting that price will come to this low at least. A price will react to this low at least. Now looking at the hour time frame, of course we can anticipate that price will come and take out all the zones. All right, because remember, this is the weekly level, and this was where we are saying, okay, for us to start looking for probably some buys, price should react to any of these zone. For now, of course, you can do something like this, it's okay. All right, you can do something like this, but of course we can actually put, just to show you exactly what I mean, can put an entry there as well. And of course 1 to 5, I think this day actually took a 1 to 5 trade right here, somewhere here, I think so, right? 1 to 5 trade right there. So let's play price and see exactly what we have. So we'll reduce that so that we can enjoy the playback. So that's exactly what we have. We see we have a nice reaction, and price came back and reacted to that level again. All right, so for this day, look at that, take profits have been hit. Nice 1 to 5 risk to reward ratio, and believe me, this is effortless. When price was going up from this zone, I wasn't interested in taking any buys, right? I wasn't interested because I knew that price is going to fall like the knife. So what I did was to wait and see exactly what price is doing. So the next thing that we need to pay attention to is the next day, because this was the end of the session. This was the end of the session for me. So after this time, there is no way I would have looked for entries. But if I'm already on the entry on the trade, I'll wait for price to get to at least to a reasonable key level before the end of day. And of course, that's exactly what we had here. So let's play price to the next day. So on this day, before we go to the next day, we need to confirm from the daily time frame, right? Because this is a replay. Of course, before I start the day, I'll go to the daily time frame. All right, so on the daily time frame, what can we see? We can see that we have a rejection from where? From our key level, right? We have a rejection from our key level. So we confirm that rejection on the 4 hours. Do we have a break on the 4 hours? Of course, we already have a break. This is the break. This is the break of structure. We have a break of structure right there, right? So price did what? Broke the V shape. All right, look at that, right? That's exactly what price did. So where is our draw on liquidity? Hopefully our draw on liquidity, overall draw on liquidity is actually here. This is our overall draw on liquidity. We're expecting that price come and take out this low, but price might not just come and just, you know, take out this low directly. So because of that, we also need to re-strategize and analyze the chart. So we now know that, okay, this Tuesday actually confirmed our selling furthermore, right? It confirmed it furthermore. So what we do, we simply wait for key levels. And how do we do that? The same thing. All right, for smart money traders, remember we have what? We have a break of structure here, right? Isn't it? We have do I have a BOS there? We have a break of structure. We have a break of structure right there. That's a break of structure as well. Okay, so we can actually say we have an inducement here already. Okay, but for now we're not interested in that. All right, we have there wasn't really, except on the 1 hour. If we go to the 1 hour, of course the structure will even be clearer on the 1 hour. Of course, you see that was an inducement right there. So what do? We are still on the 4 hours, so we play price to the next day. So what I did on Wednesday, rather on Thursday, because we already took the trade from Wednesday. On Thursday, okay, is that Thursday now or Wednesday? I don't even know. So this is Asian session. We have Asian session here. So usually we don't trade the Asian session. So if you are trading this, London session or New York session is actually preferable. All right, if you want to trade the Asian session, then you can actually focus on some other pair and not Euro USD. All right, you can use the NZD pairs, the JPY pairs. They move nicely during the Asian session as well, but I will recommend London session because that's when the market makers are fully active. Okay, so what we need to do now is let's strategize. Remember, we have our daily key level here. That's our daily key level, 4 hours, price reacting already. Now another level have been created on the 4 hours, which is here. These are 4 hour levels as well. Okay, 4 hour key level. And do we have another one here? Yes, we have one here, but this one is already being respected, or rather it's already been violated, so there is no need. So these are key level. Let's check 1 hour. So on the 1 hour, what we do there, we can just refine the levels. Okay, so for now, let's make do with what we have on the 4 hours. So of course we'll need to wait for price on the 1 hour time frame. On the 1 hour time frame. So remember, we had our sell, we had a sell here already. We have a sell in this zone, and all of these zones are what? These zones are our key level, right? These are key levels. So we're anticipating that price come and react to any of those levels. Of course, if price, look at that, look at the timing, 2 a.m. So for example, I want to look for entry around this time, 2 a.m. EST Standard Time, all right, and around 8 a.m. UK time. So what are my expectation? My expectation is this. Let's see 1 hour. Let's see 4 hours. Do you know what I'm looking for? I'm actually looking for what? My key levels. My key levels. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. So that's exactly what we have. So for now, I think these are the only areas I'm looking for entries. So I want price to react from any of these zone. So let's go to the 15-minute time frame. So one thing I can do is, of course, I can start looking for entry around this key level. So you might say, why am I not waiting? I can wait. I can decide to wait for confirmation. Is that okay? Yes, I can decide to wait for confirmation as well. Confirmations are very, very important as well. So this is a daily zone. So I can decide to say, because the reason is this. Remember, let's go. Can we go to the 4 hours so that I can show you something? So on the 4 hours, remember that this was what the first diagram I drew for you. All right, this one. This is exactly what we have. We have the V shape. We have the A shape, the V shape field. So our expectation can be something like this. All right. So this is exactly what we have. Do you understand? So some people can call this head and shoulder pattern and so on. So let's go to the 15 minutes. So like I said, we can start looking for what are entries from the zone, right? Wait for our timing, and where is our, of course, we can take profit right there. Okay, so we'll put our stop loss a little bit right there. My stop loss can even be here. Okay, let's do that. And let's see, let's go to the 1 hour again. So on the 1 hour, what do we see? So we'll play price. Okay, we're waiting for price to react. So at this point, I'm not interested. I'm waiting patiently. All right, I'm actually waiting patiently for price to do its thing. I'm waiting patiently for price to do its thing. So what we can do is we can start looking for our entries around this level. Okay, so let's go back to the 15 minutes. So feel free to ask your questions. I believe you understand so far what we are doing right here. I believe you do. In case you don't, feel free and ask me your questions and I'm going to answer you. All right, so we have a nice tap from the daily zone. That's the daily zone in line with what? In line with our timing. Okay, so where is our take profit? We can decide to take profit here. Yes, yeah. Why? Because the Asian session kind of gave us a strong low, so we might want to, of course, at the same time, we might also want to target the same level if we want to. All right, so for the sake of this video, let's just leave it somewhere here, or probably here. That's about 1 to 6. Of course, look at this. Price might react from there. My stop loss can even be as close as this. Okay, yes, and my stop loss is, that's about 1 to 8 risk to reward ratio right there. Okay, let's see, let's play price. Okay, let's play price. All right, so we see a very nice reaction right there, and boom, within that's about how many minutes? That's about you see that? See that? That's about 15, 30, 45, 1. That's about 1 hour trade, and we've gotten 8%. So imagine you are putting this on your ProFirm account. That's a lot, right? Now, the next thing we want to do is we need to be patient. If we go to the 4 hours, for example, we can actually go to the 4 hours and look for example, let's say after our take profits have been hit on the 4 hours, what are we looking for? We're looking for zones that we can also use. Remember, this zone is still valid. This zone is still a strong zone. We're not expecting price to violate this anytime soon, except otherwise we have a strong reaction, and that reaction has to come probably from the daily time frame. Okay, but for now this is just a 4 hour zone and there's no reaction here yet, so we can say this is a draw on liquidity. All right, so what else are we looking for? We're actually looking for waiting for price to react. Okay, this is on Thursday, that same Thursday. So what I did is, after I took the trade during the London session, I think I was actually waiting for an entry on the 15 minute time frame for New York session, because I actually knew that price, remember, we're overall bearish, right? So because of this reaction, I actually waited. So what I did is I went to the higher time frame. For the higher time frame, we need to look out for the zones. So the zones I was looking out for on the higher time frame was these same zones, this zone right there, right? If I go to the 1 hour, so on the 1 hour time frame, you can see that we have a very clean zone right here. So if I pull that in, this is a very clean zone on the 1 hour chart. Okay, and also we have another zone here on the 1 hour. Of course, we don't want to be chasing zones on the 1 hour except for the 4 hours. Okay, it will give us a higher accuracy when we do that. Then the next thing I was looking out for was this area. Yes, of course, in line with this. Look at that, in line with this. Okay, in line with that. So I was waiting for price to come there and for me to take my sales, right? And I was not triggered. I don't think I was triggered. I wasn't, right? I was not. Okay, I was not. And funny enough, I was actually expecting more prices to the downside. Yes, I was expecting more prices to the downside, at least to this zone. Yes, that was my expectation, right? But unfortunately, price went without me. And of course, it will happen. You don't have to be chasing price and be chasing price here and there. No, you stay patient. Be patient. All right, be patient. So all I did, remember, imagine you taking 8% already during London session. Is there any need to chase another price in New York? No, you can as well take this and close for the day. All right. So imagine this around this was 1 to 5, and if we're holding TP here, this is about 1 to 14 risk to reward ratio. That's insane. That's insane. All right, so the next thing that I was looking for is wait for price to do its thing. And what, remember, the logic, we need to go to what? We need to go to the daily time frame. So on the daily time frame, what can we see? We see that the previous day also rejected our zones. So of course, we are actually bearish. So all I have to do was to wait for, because no new zones were created. There was no new zone that, okay, let's see on the daily time frame, was there a zone? Please, in case you are enjoying the video, I would appreciate it if you can drop a like. Of course, this this was the only zone, but as you can see, there was a gap here, and there was actually a gap, and I'm not actually interested in that zone. Of course, there was a gap here. We could as well look at this area. Okay, but as you can see, this area have been mitigated already with the wick, so we are not interested in that area, so wait patiently. Of course, on the 4 hours, what can we see? On the 4 hours, we are seeing this zone. I see this zone as a fresh zone because of this indecision candle. Okay, this is the 4 hour zones, so wait patiently. Let's wait the Asian session. Okay, this is Asian session. So during the Asian session, what are we looking out for? What are we looking out for? Wait for price to take out the Asian session. Meanwhile, if price hits our key level before the Asian session, what are we looking for? We can start looking for what? We can start looking for entries, especially if a strong high was created in the case of selling scenario. All right, so let's go to the 15-minute time frame. So basically on the 15-minute time frame, we are just waiting and anticipating for price to do its thing, because the truth is we need to allow price to do its thing. And remember, this is our key level. We want price to get here first before we take our entries. Okay, so as you can see, price already touched our key level from this particular zone. Okay, so on this day, that's our zone. We could as well do something like this and place our stop loss around maybe 5 pips. Okay, and we can even target more, because this is Friday. Okay, of course Friday you want to target less, but at the same time there is nothing that is supposed to hold price here. Look at this. Let me show you something. You see all of these zones. All these zones are liquidity levels. Can you see them? Look at that. They are all liquidity. Okay. So of course, can do something like this. Expect price. Can do something like this. Okay. And of course, price can even get to this low. And the easiest way to know is higher time frame. It's not guesswork. It's not like, oh, price might come here, price might not come here. No, that's not what we're interested in. What we're interested in, what exactly is price doing? What is price doing? So the question is, do you have answer to what price is doing? Do you have an answer to what price is doing? So we have some key levels here. Look at the key level here. Price is reacting from there. So of course, coming to the what's it called? The 1 hour, we have break. We have break of structure there. We have inducement here. Let me show you. We have, of course, inducement before break of structure. So we should expect price to react from this key level. But on the 1 hour, all of these key levels have been used on the 1 hour. So we can actually go to the 4 hours. Let's check the time. The reason why we're checking the time is because, you know, when you go to the 4 hours and we're using the play tool, it might. Okay, so on the 4 hours, we have this zone, right? We have that zone. For me, that's the only zone we have on the 4 hours actually. So wait for price to do its thing. Okay, now will I chase price? No, I'm not chasing it. I'm not going to chase price. Wait patiently for price to do its thing. Okay, wait patiently for price to do what? To do its thing. And whenever we wait like that, what is happening is we are actually giving ourselves we're giving ourselves opportunities. We're giving ourselves opportunity. So the truth is, we want price to, so if price comes up here, before my timing, I will just wait for confirmations first. But I want price to get here after my timing. All right. Okay, so at least I will have to wait for confirmation. I wait for confirmations because this before my timing. Okay, so let's wait for price. Okay, let's take that out. Okay, so this is our timing. This is our timing window. So we basically have to wait for confirmation because we are not doing guesswork. And remember, we have a key level here, but we don't know if this key level will be used because this is a lower time frame. This is 15-minute time frame. So instead of that, we simply wait for the higher time frame key level, which is either the 4 hours, and we manage the 1 hour. All right, so in this case, I waited for price to take this low to give us a market structure shift or a change of character as the case may be. All right, so let's play price and see exactly what happens. Of course, we can as well enter a trade here. Look at that, this zone here, because that was actually a break of structure. Look at that, that was a break. Can you see it? Yes, it's a break. So we could as well enter here. Of course, I did not enter this one because I was actually waiting. I was a little bit conservative with this with that entry, but just to show you how powerful this strategy is, that's why I'm doing all of this. It's very powerful. We can as well say, oh, we want price to get here. Bro, it's a possibility, but it's not guesswork. But remember, this is a higher time frame zone, so of course we can expect price to get there. But this is 1 to 18 risk to reward ratio or 1 to 19 risk to reward ratio. We don't have to hold all our positions. Maybe 1 to 5, you take most of your positions out. And if you had been on this trade since on Wednesday, you can as well hold, especially if you know where price is already going to. You are very sure based on statistics. Okay, so the next thing that we want to do right now is wait. So I'm actually waiting. We're actually waiting for this break of structure. So do we have a break of structure already? No. All right, so we have a break of structure already. So at this point, all I did was to put my stop loss around there. Yes, somewhere there. That was my entry. That was my entry. And where is my target? I think my target was around here. It was around 1 to 7.5. Was 1 to 7.5 risk to reward ratio. Yes, I think this was where I placed my take profit. And let's play price and see exactly what we have. So we'll reduce this so that you can be enjoying the view. All right, let's play price and see exactly how it's spanning out. So this is very okay. We have been tagged. Look at that, we have been tapped again. Price went up again and continued to push to the downside. All right, so listen, in case you really want to learn this strategy, I want you to check the video description right now. Follow me on my X account, which is my Twitter. Follow me on my Telegram channel, which I send free setups on a daily basis. And also, if you want to fast track this your learning process, I also want you to send me a message, join our mentorship, and of course I will show you exactly. Look at that, that was a very nice push. I will show you exactly how these things work in practice, and believe me, you will be able to pass your ProFirm challenge in just 1 week. All right, it's only a matter of understanding. Once you get this, and it's not that difficult, right? Feel free, watch the video over and over again in order for you to have a maximum understanding. And boom, you see, and market closed around there. So this was our entry. This was my entry for the week that just passed. So of course, if we are to do our calculation, and market closed right there. Okay, so let's see. You see, that's exactly what I explained. Can you see? This was the chart I showed you earlier, and this was the same chart that we just did right now. Just to tell you that it is not guesswork. This was the missing trade. Look at that. This was the missing trade. This was the first trade, second trade, third trade, and fourth trade. All right, it is not guesswork, it's only a matter of understanding. So how many risk to reward ratio was that? 5. We had 5 here, we had 8 here, That's about 13. We have 7 here, right? 13 plus 7, that's around so in total I actually had around 25 risk to reward ratio last week. And of course, most of these trades were sent. All right, so look at the trades, they were actually sent. Look at that, they were sent. So check the video description, look at the before. So it's not look at the before. So I want you to check right now, and feel free and join us. And I hope you enjoyed the video. In case you did, feel free to let me know in the comment section below, and don't hesitate to ask a question in case you have some. All right, so thank you so much for your time, and thanks for watching. Shalom.